Welcome to another live. Today we're going to be talking about light language, and I have some very special guests waiting backstage. But first, we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping. So the next couple of shows that are coming up, I have written them down because we have so much fun stuff coming up. So the next show after today is going to be on the 25th of August, and we're going to have Jennifer Drakowski coming back for a Q&A about her book. So we're going to talk a little bit about Jen's book towards the end of the show. I've been posting a link so you can get your own copy. Her book is free for the next 2 days. So make sure to get your copy, read it, and then come to the Q&A. And you can come and ask her any questions you might have about the book, about writing it, the story, anything that you might have for her. The next show after that is a deck deep dive. So we're going to be going through all of my tarot decks, Oracle decks, Lenormand decks. I'm going to talk to you about what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and purchase responsibly, of course, for that show. We're going to also be doing another part 2 about coloring the True Sight Oracle. And we're going to do another Cooking with a Kitchen Witch show. I know you guys love that so much, and we're going to be making a fudge recipe. So I'm excited for you guys to be there for that. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my guests one at a time. And so drum roll, we have Gerald.
Hello.
Tarot Stash.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. It's great to be a guest on Woo Woo Wonderment. I'm not going to give away the other people, but this is a good opportunity for you to like and subscribe because all of the cool kids have, and I know you don't want to admit it, but you're one of the cool kids.
It's true.
Lean into it and embrace it. Thank you for having me here.
And we also have, for the second time today, Dennis.
I was doing the sip thing.
Hydrating.
I'm Janice Coughlin from the Twila Lifestyle Community, Twila Lifestyle Academy. And I do stuff. And I'm excited to be here.
And our final guest, and somebody I'm so happy is here with us today, is JJ for Tuta Speaks.
Yay!
Hello, hello.
Hi, everybody. My name's JJ, and I'm currently working on my website, but it's tutaspeaks.com, and my channel is at Tuta Speaks here on YouTube.
Gosh, I failed. My name's Tarot Stash. I do lots of different things on YouTube, have conversations, creativity conversations. I'm very curious, and I do private readings, so reach out to me at tarotstash@gmail.
I think all these pretty cool people do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Including this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're an intuitive bunch.
Are we?
We are. Mm-hmm.
I knew you were going to say
My
that.
intuition is telling me this.
So I'm going to say hello to a couple people that are in the chat. Everybody say hello. If you're hanging out, watching, work lurking. Hopefully you're not work lurking on a Sunday, but if you are, thank you for work lurking with us. But we have, got to watch out for this guy.
Mm.
I think this one's a troublemaker too.
Yay!
Awesome.
And this one as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I also think this one.
Absolutely.
Would it be okay if that person put the link to their book into the chat?
It would.
Yes, of course.
It's the Kindle version that is free for a short period of time.
Get your copy.
Can I show the other one now?
Yeah. Go. Let's just do it now. We're gonna just do it now.
There's the Lyran Legacy.
It looks so good.
And it's by Jennifer Drakowski.
So that's the show we're doing in 2 weeks from now, guys. Get your copy.
I just got
it.
She's a JJ.
She is.
Is a JJ.
She is.
I didn't realize that. Gerald's mind is blown.
We also have Richie. Hi, Richie. Long time no see. Yep.
Yeah.
Until August 11th, she said.
There we go. Yep.
Cool.
That's the ebook.
So we're going to be talking about light language today. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and we will star them and get to them. But what I did is I went on, I'm like, I just from experiencing it, I know what light language is, but I'm like, okay, what does the Google say the definition of light language is? So I'm going to just read out the little kind of light language definition that it
She's
spit
a
out.
JJ.
She's a JJ. She's a
Oh my
triple J,
gosh.
the J
Yep.
cubed. I've learned something new today.
There we go.
So, according to Google, and this is going to be open for discussion after I read the definition. Feel free to make comment or make additions. But Google says that light language is a form of communication that bypasses the limitations of human language, communicating directly with the soul through energy and vibration. It's a multidimensional language, often described as the language of the stars or soul language, and that can be expressed through various forms. And we are going to be showing some examples today, but what do you guys think of that definition? Do you think it kind of describes it fairly well, or would you add anything?
Yeah, I just love.
JJ, please go.
Yeah, I just love, first of all, I love being curious and playful and, just really being open to any kind of, I don't know, it's a communication, but it's a feeling. And that's, just being playful and curious always when you're learning something. Yeah. That's how I really do stuff with my light language. I try not to make it too serious when I'm learning. And yeah, it comes through with hand movements, body movements, just stuff in my mind. And yeah, it's so wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I also did a little bit of deep diving because #overachiever. Because JJ and I and Karen, Starseed Awakening 1111, have had multiple shows about light language.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really interesting is I think it is consistently, it is about a heart-centered and soul-level vibration of communication that happens. And it could take a very conventional form, such as a language. And so, but there's also this interesting thing of it can be startling for people. And that actually it feels great to me. But the other thing is there's sometimes light language could be that speaking in tongues that people reference.
Mm-hmm.
And that idea of, I think, okay, glossolalia is it's spontaneous vocal expressions not governed by learned grammar.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really cool is when this happens, they've done scans of people's brains while this is happening, and different areas of the brain light up.
Interesting.
Wow.
And I'm just like going, again, since it wasn't my show, I was like going, I'm going to deep dive this because
go for it. I love this.
All of the stuff. But there's also this really interesting thing. It's about what happens is it's the brain waves are heightened by gamma frequencies. And then those are the areas that are memory, creativity, and unified consciousness.
Yes, that's a big piece. I think that collective tapping in. I think we've all found that as far as those of us that kind of do feel the light language. I guess I'm going to say that. But yeah, no, I love that. Tennis, anything to add to the definition?
I think you guys have covered it beautifully. It's definitely like that frequency vibration that creates the difference. It can be very healing and also very sacred.
Yeah.
I find that doing it we had our graduation for our Galactic Shaman program this week, and some came through, and it felt so sacred and special, and it's lovely. It is about the emotion, like you said, JJ, and vibration, and I think that's amazing, Gerald, about the brain and stuff. So
yeah,
it's so cool.
Very interesting. I love that idea of it being sacred. Many things can be sacred. Making a cup of tea can be sacred. It's the intention that we put behind it. And when part of what happens is when we think about our evolution as a species, we have this amazing opportunity that when someone, the first healer out there, discovered that this was an important thing, they elevated it to the level of sacredness. Everybody saw it and recognized it and treated it the same. I think the same thing happens in science today. You know, we all see those people: science, the arts, mathematics, medicine. It's really cool. Okay, I'm gonna sip. I told them backstage that I was feeling quite.
You're buzzing. It's good. I love it.
Quite jacked in, and
oh my gosh, I am over here like I can't hear anything you guys are saying. I'm just like,
I know. Okay, I'm having that trouble too.
It's like Charlie Brown. It's Charlie Brown like voices. Well, I'm going to say hello to
Definition, and I'm like,
Cheryl popped in, so we're going to say hello to Cheryl. Everybody take a sip.
Oh yes.
And then Jen, my holistic self, said, "Love these definitions, and I agree with the idea of it being connected to the heart of love and energy." And then Richie said, "To me, it feels like the form of communication used from the lifetime that you are connecting to. I think that may be why no one really speaks the same language." And that's the big thing. We're going to show some examples of light language, but it's different for everybody. There's no box. There's no box that it has to fit in. Yes, Cheryl?
I find we can also do different languages ourselves, right? I have Arcturians that come in. It sounds different from the Star Mothers when they come in, that kind of thing. Sorry, Gerald.
No, I mean, going back to this idea of what Richie is saying, it's back when we were first doing things and we didn't have the vocalization or the structure. There was an understanding that was delivered energetically. I just got a weird flash of that. I was just like going, ooh, because there's that same thing of, I'll say this. You know how a parent can look at a child from across the room, and that child is either a little frightened, they are held up, and they are raised up. They know that sense of love. They suddenly develop a sense of confidence, or it's the giggle, it's the laugh, and it's the same. It's I think light language is a very intimate language.
It is.
Because it is at such a different level.
Jen also added, she said, "For me, it's connecting with the all, and it comes through us in many different ways, but it is about bringing through the vibration of love's light." And I agree with that. I liked what Gerald said too. Like, a lot of the time I've heard light language, it is a very nurturing thing. So I completely 100% Gerald on that. A couple more people have come in. So Living in Radiance. Hey. Hi, Mom. And then we also have Maruda. She says, "Loquacious regarding glossolalia."
My goodness.
See that 5 times fast.
Ooh, that's a mouthful.
And then Amanda Carroll's here as well. Thanks for joining, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. So I know all of you are kind of raring to go, so I thought we could maybe give some people some examples. Oh, Richie just added.
Yeah.
I feel like
JJ needs
communication
to
was
talk.
more telepathic and not spoken. That's probably why symbols and sounds are considered light language also. And Richie, to that point, this is going to actually come up when we talk about examples of light language. So you're tapped in with us, Richie. It's like you're intuitive or something.
Yeah.
So I thought I would maybe just show the written kind of light language first, because that's the easiest one to get out of the way, and then we can talk about some of the other ones. And those of us that do spoken light language, if you're comfortable, feel free. We'll set aside some time for that. So I have some examples of written light language. So I have a couple of card decks that have light language, as well as a painting I've been working on. Some of you, if you've seen past shows, might have seen it. So here's some example of light language. So in this case, it's coming through as symbols, lines, circles, triangles. Yeah, this is the deck that it's from, is the Liquid Crystal Oracle. This is the only tarot oracle deck that I actually picked up, and it gave me a electrical shock. So,
Oh my God.
and like full body chills for like a full minute while I was holding it. So that tells you the power of that deck. This is the Glow Oracle. So it also has a different version of light language. And again, you can see the differences. This is a bit more of a flowing kind of drawn language.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Linda. Thanks for hanging out.
Hey, Linda.
And then, as I said, got my painting here. So this shows you some differences as well in light language. So as I was painting this, I was kind of just tapping in. So this is, to me, more kind of Pleiadian light language. It seemed to be, I guess, more solar or more sun-based. And this was more Venusian, so that more kind of flowing curves and lines and stuff like that. So that's more painted.
Yeah, that Venusian one, my heart goes. So.
Was that the pink one?
Yeah.
That's the one I was drawn to. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting which one you're drawn to. Like that one? Yeah. Ooh.
I have a Venusian lifetime.
That would be something interesting to have that and see which column or section people were interested in.
Yes.
And what it felt.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's interesting that you said section, because there was like one spot that I definitely went to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Madame Maru asked the question, what about angel sigils?
Mm.
I'd assume so. Yeah, I think I'd have to. I mean, any of those kind of written sigil, I would kind of say is same as light language. Maybe just a different term is used, but I would say
I think they all create a frequency, right?
Yeah.
And so it depends on what frequency you're tuning into as to which language comes out.
Well, and Amanda Carroll was saying too, like crop circles are a written form of light language. They're a way of communicating information. And I think that's the big thing with light language, is that we talk about how it's from the heart. That's one of the big things I tell clients is, don't listen with here, listen with here. It's not meant to necessarily be understood by our human brains. That it is more of a soul language. Jonathan has popped on. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan.
Jonathan.
So we all got the giggles.
That's the Pleiadians.
Yeah, I know they are, because I've been singing since like lunchtime. I guess who wants to go first?
JJ.
I want to talk about a new language that I've just kind of witnessed the last few days. I was with a really, really great group of people on a rafting trip, and they're listening right now. They're Canadian, and they're listening as they're driving home. And
hello.
Bye. Thank you for giving a great time.
Yeah, and it was so fun being in nature. For me, that's where I really connect, is just, barefoot or just watching a bug, a butterfly, caterpillar. I get a lot of my lessons from nature. And so when you get a reading from me, you might be more confused when it ends because it might be like, how your river's flowing and then this is like, and they're like, I don't know what to do with that sometimes. But yeah, so I like to think of the idea of nature language. And I'd like to share a few things, if you could pull them up and maybe everybody could see. Now, this one, if you turn your head sideways, it's a big face, but you might see something else. This is how nature speaks, because sometimes there'll be like a funny face or an animal, and it makes me feel like, yeah, makes me feel really something. Do you guys see the face?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah,
And there was another one. Hmm?
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. This one to me looked like the profile of a warrior.
Mhm.
It looks like he's wearing a helmet. And then there's also really fun things popping out in other places.
I see a bear in front of him, like almost like slumping over, looking into the water.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I see that. Hmm.
And this was another one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this this guy was just like hanging out on the top of a hill. He's like, here I am.
He's cute.
Yeah, he's cute.
And then this was the other one.
This is the one I was showing them backstage and everybody saw something different, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you want me to say what I saw, or?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to put it back? Give me a second.
Gilroy.
Well, I actually see. I'm seeing a leg actually, and a person stretching, crawling up from the rock. But we are part of the rock, so we're seeing their abdomen as they are going through. So.
And what part of the photo, if you could describe it, center,
Yeah.
lower?
It is you see the dark part.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the dark part, and then to the right of that is like the leg. You see the thigh and then the knee bend.
Mm-hmm.
So hang on, let me see if I can pull this up on the Facebooks or on the YouTubes.
Ooh, Jonathan's seeing a lion face.
Nice.
And my mom said she's seeing a lion head as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm seeing someone going down the rock. Right.
Amanda's
The
also.
one going up.
So for me, right here is
You need to
Go
hold back
higher.
a little higher.
oops, sorry.
There you go. Yeah, there.
We see
A little
the
higher.
leg.
A little higher.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect.
Right there. Okay.
The leg is right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's the crotch and then the abdomen.
Okay. Yeah. I see in it now.
So, but there you go.
And I see shoes right at the top, like right beside where it says crop. It looks like there's two shoes there, and there's someone going down in the bottom of, like in the middle of the dark section there. There's like a head.
Yeah, I see lots of things. Like I see the right in the middle, a little to the left of middle. I see a little bit more than just a profile. It's like they're turning their head just a little bit, and so I see a person with a big chin, and it's either ceremonial feathers on the side of the head or an owl of some sort on his shoulder. Yeah.
Yep, I can see that too.
Yeah. Oh, and then I also wanted to share just some, like, I love collecting rocks, and it'll remind me of something, or it'll be in a shape if that means something to me. Crystals can have like little things. I've seen a crystal once that it was an amethyst and it had like definitely I saw Mother Mary outline in it. But these were some of the ones that I collected with my friends. Like this is a leaf, so it's like he already had something in his mouth. He's like,
no.
Oh, I love that.
so I
Or
left
his
it there.
tongue.
Yeah. And this one I really loved. I saw like a couple of things in it, but right now I see different things. But yeah, it's just so fun.
Yeah.
And then are you guys okay if I do a little light language
Yes,
with
please.
the one that gave you goosebumps?
Yes, please.
Is that appropriate? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this one really wanted to be a part of it today. I kind of wish I had just a picture so we could just show it, but here we go. This guy was like, you need to bring me on today. So let me just tap in here for a second.
So yeah, everybody just open up your hearts, just listen with your heart, close your eyes if you're not driving. And
oh my
Like-
gosh, it looks like half of my face. Like I could
It does.
totally
It
do
does.
that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My crown chakra's all tingly.
Yeah. So yeah, I just like to ask, like, what does nature have, or this, what does this want to say? Right. Yes. Okay. It might be something new, so it might take me just a little while to get it through.
no worries.
Yeah, it's like they say it's going to take a little while to get it through, like how water finds its way through the rock. Yeah. Okay. And their message is to not lose hope if you feel like you're the water trying to get through rock, because you have many, many chances. And they say you're doing a good job, even though it feels small, because eventually the water does get through the rock. So if anybody's having a hard time out there, that's what they want to share. If you feel like you're not moving forward in what you wanted to do, they say that it is happening. 파코나시나이 저는 아쿠니안 타느이 코나나이 카나이 카 Katotoма kianetiaona no kamanayewa mai nai kui nashna kui tai nai nashnui ano tianana kui kana kui kuya yeta namoshnai anu kiatiana ushna kuyama tuewashnaye.
That was beautiful. I was getting chills the whole time.
I cleared something with that one.
Jen, actually, if you want to hold it up, JJ, Jen was just saying that it looks like a lion's head to her,
Again?
and it does. You can see the little ear.
That's good.
Ear on the left.
Myron. That's
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the river for the, what is it, the Lions Gate, the 8-8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she'd also said, I started this to hold for later, but she said, I have a picture I posted a while back about a stone that spoke to me and told me beautiful tales of forgotten times. Love that you're
Yes.
bringing this forward.
Yes, the stories. Yes.
Love the stone, rock, bark, wood collectors. Actually, I was at Tanis's on her birthday, and she has a gorgeous like portal, basically little like, call it a portal, I guess.
In the
In her
back.
backyard, she has 5 trees that are in a circle, and you can like go stand in the middle. And I found a tiny little piece of bark, and it looks like a dragon. I don't have it handy right now,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
oh, and I forgot to share this when I was talking about written light language. But this is a drawing I did a couple of years ago now. Actually, when Tanis first channeled light language through for me during one of our sessions, and it popped up like the old school, like, stereo systems where like they would have like the lines for the audio. It was like that, but as she was channeling, it was that, but it was all different colors. So that's where the bars of color come in, is they were like almost like an audio system. As she was talking, they were fluctuating and changing shape and size. But yeah, so I tried to draw it out to see what kind of show what I was seeing.
Which is cool, because everybody sees their own thing, and it was nice to have that.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that. Thank you.
Gerald or Tanis, do you want to talk a little bit about what light language is for you?
Go for it, Tanis. or Kaylee. Why does
so light language, I started doing it years ago, but I didn't really step into it, I guess, until more recently. And I think it was because like I said, I've been to channel for a while, but haven't been doing necessarily light language. It was a lot of the guides coming through, and it's been like comes through as English, right? It's translated stuff. And then I ended up teaching a class about it, and I did a little bit in the class, and what came through was an activation for all of them, but a big one for me. And so since then, it's really kind of taken off, and it feels like every time I do it, it's just easier and easier. And at first it was all kind of, it felt all the same sort of thing at one point. And then now it seems to be switching depending on what I'm doing or where I'm at or what's needed in the room. It comes through as different ones. And I seem to feel like the different types of ETs or galactic beings that comes through. Galactic seems to be what I do most. But, I talk to my crystals all the time as well. So we'll have to play with that a little bit. We haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
It will be happening. So, yeah. And so I've started, like, you can see the pyramid behind me here. I do crystal baths in there. So I have crystals around. There's a mattress there. And usually I'll get people in there, and I'll actually place crystals and those cards that Kaylee was showing on somebody. So I pick a card depending on what I'm told to pick, right? Shuffle, and almost like oracle card stuff. Put the cards on them, and so they're getting specific light languages that are tuned into different parts of the body. So they intuitively tell me where this one's supposed to go, where that one's supposed to go. I actually usually show me what I need for the root sort of thing. Show me what I need for this, and it comes up. And of course, they have lovely messages, that deck as well. So they get a message with that. And then usually once we get into it, we have solfeggio music going, and light language just comes through for whatever it is that they need. So that's how I've been using it a lot lately, I would say. Plus in ceremony, like on Wednesday, and having it come through. And for me, it'll either come through as words, like, or somewhat like words, or different language of words per se. And then other times it'll come through as a singing song kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Depending on the day or depending on who's wanting to come through. So, yeah.
Love that. I'm just going to read a couple of comments that popped on while you guys, while we were just talking there. So Jonathan said, JJ's light language always sets mine off. Me too. I can't help but answer and weave my light language into hers. Happens every single time.
Nice.
Yeah, I have something to say about that. I went to this wonderful light language gathering in Sedona, and the people that were presenting were all female, which was interesting. But the last day, everybody did their thing at the same time. And that was really neat. So it's really amazing when you add your your weave into it. It's like just goes right out there like a rocket.
Yeah, I found myself holding myself back when you were doing it. So I was like,
yeah,
nope.
Well, that's what's really funny is I find, like, I mean, Tanis with you and JJ with you when we were at the retreat, there would be times where like I'd rather just talk light language than English, and we'd be having like back and forth conversations. I always joke with Tanis, it's like two old ladies sitting on the porch in their rocking chairs with their tea, just like talking, bickering back and forth, and you end up basically end up in hysterics by the end of it because we're both just killing yourselves laughing. But
and we have no idea what's going on. We're just like the the like puppet.
Just a conduit.
There was one in particular, I don't know if you remember this, JJ, but we were sitting in the front foyer there, and you had like this old crotchety, like grumpy old grandpa kind of come through, and then I had this like little kid, and he was just like, nah, 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 and the little kid's like, nah, like just taunting him, like he wants you to just be grumpy and miserable, and the kid's like, nah, can't make me. And Richie gave you a new nickname.
Thank you, Richie.
The rock whisperer.
And then I felt like, I agree, Richie. As you said, Jonathan Daly, I really think that JJ was a teacher to a lot of us in previous life. And that's why when she speaks her light language, it's a remembrance for us. I would agree with that. And then Lauren actually said, I love this. I was thinking about Gerald, JJ, and Karen's light language show while watering my flowers this morning. Synchronicity today is making my heart happy.
Yay.
You got the message.
Yeah.
Send out the message.
Exactly. Well, and I want to, the thing about, I had JJ and Karen on for a laugh and learn about light language, because I'm like, what is this light language stuff? Let's find out, because I'm spiritually very curious. And it's probably about 40 minutes into the show where I suddenly went, oh, I have a light language, and it's this. Because I have been, when I do readings, I go into what I now understand are the Akashic records, and this the language shows up as symbols. Now, do I know what those symbols are? No. But the symbols show up, they interact, and through our conversation, I have discovered that I'm able to zero in on them and get to the minutia of what that message is. So for me, I was like, I have no idea what this is, but I have been doing this almost 30 years, never calling it that. So hashtag I blame JJ.
Me too.
There you go. But so it's very interesting. It was like, oh my gosh. And what's great is for me, different tarot decks are a way that I can connect with the light language. It's simply a key. So for me, if I'm a particular tarot deck, will activate my access to the light language. So it's very, very fascinating. Well,
and both of you have spoken to, or all three of you actually, that like using light language in your practices. Example, like I have been just recently starting to use it with my Reiki clients that I've been doing. And they're actually finding it's a more immersive, deeper experience for them, that it's actually allowing more healing to happen for them when that light language comes through. So I'm glad that like all three of you kind of mentioned that, because I love that. And that's the big thing I think with light language we have to remember is just to allow that flow. Because I especially because I tend to block myself a lot of the time. Yeah.
The hardest part.
Yeah, because of course we all get stage fright, most of us. And so through practice, getting more comfortable with things, kind of put myself in a position today to come out there and do it.
If I can just add something too, that the one thing that we haven't spoken about is actually, it's like a sign language that comes through.
Yes.
So I'm often, doing it, and then, and especially during healing, bringing stuff down. It's like I'm bringing code. Just doing that, I'm getting all tingly. Apparently, I'm doing it at the moment. So it's just like bringing codes down and then sending it in when I'm doing healing work, and that's another form
Well, and to the piece where I showed you the picture of like the light chords, for example, when I was first starting out, that's how it came through, is almost like, I would almost say like harp chords, where I'd be playing them with my fingers and touching those chords, I would get full body chills. Well, recently, in the last kind of couple of months, it's kind of progressed to the point where now when that light language comes through, I'm actually taking those, they're not rigid kind of chords anymore. They're actually strings that I'm now being told to gather together and tie and send back to source. So, you were saying like light language, it evolves. I know listening, those of you that have listened to JJ, there's some days where it'll sound more Aboriginal, some days where it'll sound more like Chinese or Japanese language. It really depended on who was coming through that day.
It also, Kaylee, it depends on who's in the live with us, or who's going to show up later as well. It's really influenced about
that's very true too.
The people that are showing up.
Who needs what, right?
Who needs what? Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to take 2 seconds and just try and center myself. So I don't know if any of you have anything else you want to add, or want to just, take the reins for 2 seconds while I try and get in the zone. But
I kind of want to just hold space for you, Kaylee, if that's okay.
I can do that too.
Yep.
All right. I'm just going to stop sharing that first. There we go. All right. Atono ia nia oia ia naia 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 oh no naia ai ai oh unia ia ia naia naia ia naia oh no ia 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 naia oh nia ia. Anani sikakai nei kani ai ai kai nai kai nai sai ia nai kai nai mai kai nai sai nai kai no ia sai kai na. End of transmission for now, but I'm going to have to take 2 seconds to come back.
Atia matore mitayaya. Iskira fitanemayai. On tamira tikamayetira. Askika maya toretia. Ashiaya. Ishiaya. Onskishinaya. Oshkita maya tora kianaya. Ira tira titaya. Onkira mimatira tu. Shimamai. Askira pipanantura tidamaya. Onkirapi. Iramitati. Orenitati. Eskiranitati. Umpire pitamania. Aikayira mitanaya. Ayatura. Unarira. Ai taru kirma. Ora mira tiraya. Akirati magaya. Untira titataya. Iskita morti di mananitira. Antira ti kavore tira timatea. Unskirta ratira timamotora titikamaya. Ilettatore ti ayata utore ti damayatura. Askata mir katitatura. Iratata akata nunoto istidanataya. Untira titataya. Ataya.
Okay.
Nastia onai. Naiska na ui nai. Naiska nai nai kamai nai nai kai.
My people want to just talk to your people. Patutamaashna tiamoko chachetana moko ewana tiawana yapaka yetitanamashna tatatumaka yatiana ana ushna tiawa matutano ushna tiataka yamonoi kanu tiatano nosneavaka yeta.
Itira tetamonast. Akadatura tikenitza. Aya.
And now I'm overheating. And I probably missed like 20 things in chat, but anyway, give me
Gerald. Gerald, how about your light language? What are you picking up?
Well, I'm picking up there are many people who are experiencing a lot of emotions at a deeper level than what they've experienced before. It is challenging to put words to that or to express it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of layers to this. So people who are watching this later, this may make sense to you, but all of this energy that we're experiencing, we're becoming aware of, we have the fortitude to get through it. This isn't the first time. It's not the last time. What's really important is to understand that the overwhelm that we feel is normal, and we need to slow down a bit and allow that to flow through us and flow through us in a constructive manner instead of like bottling it in and then somebody smiles at you and you blow a gasket. Instead, do something to allow it to be more of a trickle, and allow that to be a cleansing wash instead of this experience. Because we don't. I mean, this is why children and teenagers have difficulty in communicating, because they are feeling so much, yet they do not have the language to articulate it in a way that other people can hear.
Well, I think that makes, like, as I said at the retreat, there was times where I'm like, I wanted to speak light language because English isn't good enough. Like, like there's not enough words in the English language to express what I want to say right now. I love what Amanda said here too, because I don't know about the rest of you, but she says, like, love the singing comes to me at times too. Yours, Kaylee, brought visions of dance. I just love how cohesive these languages are, encompassing so many forms of art, and always simply feels good. And so when you each were speaking your languages, I get visuals. A lot of the like I don't necessarily get an English translation, but I get visions or like teleported to different places when I hear the different languages. So I just find that I don't know about the rest of you, but that's what I was getting when I was listening to each of you talk in turn. I could picture what was kind of going on like a movie in my head. You know?
Yeah. I think a lot of what you covered, Gerald, is what came through in mine. It seemed very, because it was an Octurian, so it was very like concise, lovingly
They
concise.
tend to be.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of what was coming through, I think.
Mhm.
Oh, here. So I did see Richie's question pop up too. I'll pull it up here in a second. But Lauren just said, ancient sacred messages from the grandmothers is what I am hearing. I love watching old friends getting together again. So happy to be together.
Yes.
Oh,
But yeah, I loved Richie's question. He said, Tanis, maybe a dumb question. No dumb questions.
no dumb questions.
But do you know the origin or region of your language? I was getting South Pacific vibes. That's what I get all the time, Richie. He says like Fiji, but then I felt Easter Island.
Yeah, I think it was Octurian, but you know, they've certainly had a role to play in that area. So that would be, you know, likely where some of that comes from.
And I think the Pleiadians have a fairly strong tie to Hawaii. Isn't there some like some of the legends and stuff like that, or some of the mythology?
Yeah, like Lemuria,
Yeah,
Mu. So those ancient cultures were very much like Octurian, Pleiadian, and Lyran. Those three really were a big part in those ancient civilizations. So, and I do have an Atlantis background as well. So I think it may be a bunch of different ones talking at the same time, but it tends to be when it's very like I want to say chunky, but that's not really the right word. Choppy. Choppy is a better word. When it's a bit more choppy, it feels more like the Octurian language for me.
Oh, for sure.
I have another language that I speak that's much more sort of Pleiadian feel to it, like the one that when I end up feeling like your grandmother, Kaylee, when we're doing healing work, that one.
Yeah.
That one's softer. That's much more Pleiadian for me. So I think it's the frequencies are similar for all of them, right? So they're just it just depends on what frequency is needed at the time.
It's like people, different dialects. Like even if you want to use the United States as an example, if you're up north, somebody has an accent versus down south has a different accent. It's just the inflection on the syllables.
Yep.
Yeah.
Action on the syllables.
Yep. You got it exactly.
Well, it's really interesting because I don't have the vocal aspect of it.
Yeah.
I have the symbols. And while the three of you were doing your language, I am seeing layers and layers and layers of records overlapping. And from there, I am working at, okay, what's the common link between all of these? Because that's the message that needs to come through.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing.
Well, and Amanda mentioned this too, and I know Tanis has experienced it. I've experienced it. I'm sure JJ has. But you have the really fast, like insectoid kind of ones that come through that almost come through almost like clicking or like yeah.
I've had that one on occasion as well. It's quite fascinating.
Well, and I guess most recently for me at Lionsgate or during our Lionsgate, so just after our graduation ceremony, I had dragon come through, and that's rough on the throat. So, it's like very deep and like gravelly, so you're like talking down in here, and you're just like, I am a 3D human. I want to try, but
Wow.
Yeah,
it's fascinating. The other thing I thought was interesting while you guys were doing the light language, in my head I was seeing all these gold symbols coming down into your crown chakras.
Ooh, beautiful.
So that was fascinating. Yeah. So it's fun to watch somebody else do it. See what else-
Yeah.
This-
Right?
Yeah.
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 This
and
is
you know,
something that go ahead.
just for the people who they do have, if it's a verbal or even if it's like a physical thing, if you record yourself and then you can hear it back, because a lot of times it's really hard to step aside. You like you step aside and do we feel it sometimes not, but when I like listen back to my recordings, especially in the beginning, because I'm like, wow, this is really weird. What do I do with this? Yeah, like, you have to be really brave when you're sharing it with others. And if that's not something that you want to do, but it's nice to practice, just record yourself however you can, put some headphones on, and just lay back and see how it feels for you. Yeah. And yeah, some of them are, I don't feel like all of them, any of ours really need to be shared one-on-one, because I think Michael Tellinger said that if sound and resonance travels so far, you could just go do it. Like I'll go down to my chickens and I'll just be like blah, 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 yeah, or near a tree. And so if somebody out there is listening to this and they might develop it, maybe because you heard it today, some people might find that some sort of light language, however it is, it might emerge. That's what I figured. That's what I found out to be true. Yeah.
So I have a confession to make. This was the first time I've done light language live.
Ditto. Hey guys, we did it.
For a long time, not live, but I've been shy about doing it live. So this is the first time.
Thank you, Tannis.
Oh my gosh.
Yay.
Yay. Congratulations. We're
But
so spoiled.
And Kelly too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
Yeah, I've done it to groups, like online, but I haven't been on live.
Yeah.
for those just starting out too, one of the biggest thing I mean, I've had such an amazing support group, Tannis, JJ, I have some other friends too, that have been kind of helping me on the little steps to like get me to this point. And one of the big things I found that helped me, and it may help others kind of discovering maybe what their language is toning. So just starting out by not having to speak words or anything, but just toning. So either using tuning forks. I've actually been using my Koshi chimes and just kind of singing along to the different keys of the chimes. But just starting to make noise, because I think that's the biggest step that I think a lot of us have to kind of overcome, is the like getting out of your head and just letting just noise come out. Because as humans, especially, we're told you kind of to keep quiet, kind of keep to yourself, don't speak out, don't, so it's getting past that boundary of just making noise, especially with you're on your own. There's no kind of the singing in the shower thing. Nobody else is going to hear it, but just, start making noise and it'll come.
Even the toning was difficult for me when I first started. There's one of the healing modalities that I do. I do a toning after as a sort of a sum up for it. And it was just to allow myself to really take a full breath and let it come through that was the first step for sure. So, yeah. We listen to ourselves talk all the time, but we don't listen to ourselves do all those other things. Right? Those kind of more intentional. I mean, I guess we talk intentionally, but it's different when you're doing that thing. It's sacred. You're bringing through sacred frequencies, and with toning and with light language. Yeah.
So we're just coming up on the hour. Do any of you have anything to add before we finish up here?
I have a question. So for my new Canadian friends, so what do you guys offer, and where do you live? Again, can you tell me that?
Yeah. Gonna go first, Tannis, or?
Sure. I'm in Ottawa. So is Kaylee.
That's easy.
About 15 minutes from each other. So
Yeah, I didn't really, I just said I do stuff. It's kind of a joke because Tula Talk, we always talk about just stuff, but I'm a Celtic shamanic high priestess, so I do ceremonial healings. I'm a galactic shaman. I am an energy healer, Reiki, Aqualite, Nukti, which is a galactic healing, Nagara, which Kaylee and I both brought through one night. And yeah, what else do I do? Sound healing. I'm a crystal master, so I do crystal stuff. So that's why I just say I do stuff.
Author.
Yeah, I'm working on that one. I have 2 books on the go that are in the process of being written. So I also have a card deck that I'm just waiting to finalize and get out there.
Yay.
Yeah. So yeah, I do stuff. And I do a bunch of podcasts. There's Twillo Talk, Galactic Gab with Jennifer and Dr. Lisa Thompson from Hawaii. I do one called Explorations from Beyond Being Human. And I'm also a galactic ambassador and on the leadership team for Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact. So I play an ambassador role, etc. there, and have a podcast with them as well, Bridge to the Galaxy. So
busy.
Yes, busy lady.
Busy.
That's why I usually say, yeah, I do stuff.
Yep.
Takes up less time.
Yeah.
So I guess similar to Tanis, I've learned a lot from her, being my mentor and teacher. So I have a Reiki practice here in Ottawa as well, though I do offer distance healings as well through the webs. I am going to be teaching my first Aqualite course next weekend. I'm also going to be teaching my first Reiki course in September. So I'll be able to put teacher on my resume. Celtic shamanic high priestess, a galactic shaman as of 2 days ago. Intuitive. So yeah, I do card readings. I have my Woo Woo Wonderment channel. That's why you're here. And yeah, so yeah, I do stuff too.
Yeah, well, the other
Gerald,
part I didn't mention is the school. So we also have a school. So we have the Twillo Lifestyle Academy, which we do online as well as in-person classes. And there are 4 or 5 other teachers as well that work with me. And yeah, so that was just the other part. That's why you've got Academy down there. So I just mention it. Sorry, Gerald. I seem to be interrupting you today. I'm sorry about that.
You're not interrupting me. My light language comes in differently than Kaylee, Tanis, and JJ. Doesn't mean that it's any less important. Theirs is more powerful or anything like that. It's just different. What I would say is if somebody is curious about a light language, don't get stuck on the word language. Instead, get curious about what things you are attracted to, what things capture your attention. A couple of weeks ago, I did a show called Follow the Fascination. It's a creativity conversation. The idea is follow what is fascinating to you, what has got your interest, and follow it. Because you may discover that the way you lay out cards or the way you do automatic writing or the poems that you create could be a form of light language. I don't know. I don't do your light language. I do mine. So I think there's a key thing is, if we can broaden the understanding that the light language is connected to the energetic levels. It enables a different aspect of the brain. The science has proven that you get to see different parts of a brain light up. It can be many things: dance, music.
Right.
Follow that fascination and just link into it. Are you going to start off running a marathon? I hope not, because you'll be exhausted. Yes. Yeah. And and me, I'm still really understanding what this means for me. Because that's another important thing. Everyone's dialect is different. Everyone's art style is different. All of those need to be present, because if you have a language that is coming through or wanting to come through, great. Because the more people who are connected in that way, I think it elevates everybody and it makes it okay. It starts to normalize it.
Well, and if we all had the same language, life would be freaking boring. Like it would be boring as
Well, and everybody receives the frequencies in a different way.
right.
Yes.
It's all a frequency, but we all have to we all have our own way of receiving. And so that's why all of these different languages are all beautiful.
Well, and I think we should follow Jonathan's lead. He says he often sings light language while he's driving in the car with his windows down.
Great idea.
Oh, so Tanis, I'm going to make you slightly bigger and you can hold up the book because I want to talk about figure out how to do this. So give me a second. Can I do this? Give me a second. No, that's not how I wanted to do that. Come on, computer.
There should be another thing down at the bottom.
No.
Like a little template thing.
Nope. We're going to try this here. Give me a second. Can I make you just the only one on the screen?
Yep.
You click on the.
There we go.
There you go.
You guys give Tanis Vanna White here.
Vanna White. My name in the way.
So Jen, who many of you know is my holistic self, if you follow Tanis, you've seen her on Twillo Talk. She just published a book. So the digital version, the Kindle version, is free till August 11th. So you can actually go to my community tab. So go to my posts in the community tab. I posted the link there to get your own copy. So now is your opportunity. And she's actually going to be on with me in 2 weeks' time. We're going to do a Q&A. So I hope you can all come and bring your questions for the Q&A, get your own copy. It's an amazing, amazing book, amazing story, amazing history. So yeah, thought I'd support a fellow friend and talk about her book. And with that, I want to thank all of my guests for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your beautiful gifts. And everybody else, I hope you have a great weekend and a great week. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Bye.